Talk about a crusher. Yes! Oh!
Are you kidding me?
And gone!
Welcome back to the Schoolyard Sports Podcast. I'm the host of this podcast, Lane Frank. We're now on episode 209, so we're 209 episodes through, and I got an action-packed episode planned for you. The Florida Gators are the kings of March as they have won the 2025 National Championship. The Masters are coming up this week. We have massive NBA news with the playoffs on the horizon, MLB in full swing, and we got Alex Ovechkin breaking the all-time goal record. Stay tuned for this action-packed and opinionated episode 209. Now, let's start off episode 209, how we always do, the headlines and the NBA. So, I know I can fall victim a little bit to the hyperbole. A lot of people can, including me. I mean, I take an English class. Of course I'm going to fall victim to the hyperbole there. And a lot of people like to say, I've never seen this happen before. Usually it's just a hyperbole. But when we're talking about the Mike Malone Nuggets situation, that's a real hyperbole. Because this was no incident where Mike Malone did something to the players off the court. Something happened off the court. Mike Malone, he has to go right away. In an Ime Udoka situation, Urban Meyer type situation, there's nothing like that. They just don't want him anymore. And they're also firing their general manager, Calvin Booth, the guy who got this team to be where they are, the guy who led this team to a championship. They're firing him too. Mike Malone is out. Calvin Booth is out. I'm shocked by it. We're going to talk about it more in the later episode called End of the Era. We're going to do that segment again on this Denver Nuggets team because it's a little bit interesting to fire championship winning head coach just a few days before the playoffs. I'm stunned by it. Everybody. Now, next thing in the NBA, my New York Knicks are getting healthy at the right time. Knicks of the 3 seed, I'd say, basically locked up. It's a little bit nerve-wracking because they might have to play the Bucks first round, or the Pistons, or another good team in the NBA, if you could even call the Bucks good at this point. But the Knicks, I think they're getting healthy at the right time. They're playing good basketball. They're playing the Celtics tonight, who've basically been dragging on the Knicks all season long. They've killed the Knicks all season. So tonight's game against the Celtics is going to be an interesting one for the New York Knicks as they're getting back, getting healthy, poised for a deep playoff run once again. Let's hope so, New York Knicks. Now, moving things over to the NFL. It is NFL draft month, and we've got our NFL mock draft segment coming up in just a few weeks. I want to talk about Shedeur Sanders here for a second. Really the only part of NFL on this episode. Shedeur Sanders, there's worries about him because, yes, he had a great pro day. Maybe he was tapping the ball a little too much. Now, from what I can hear from NFL scouts and people I've talked to in the NFL circle is people like Shedeur, people like the quarterbacks in this draft, but don't expect them to go so high. Don't expect Jackson Dart to beat that first-round pick. Don't be surprised if it's Zach Wilson, where he can go number 2, and then quarterbacks, take a while after that to go. Saw Trey Lance go number 3, and then took a while for another quarterback to fall. 2022 NFL draft. Kenny Pickett goes first round. Malik Willis, Desmond Ridder, a few other guys fall out of that first round. Matt Corral, they all end up getting picked on day 2. Don't be shocked to see that out of some of these guys. I think Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward may be the only locks to go first round on that Thursday night in the NFL draft. Switching things over to the MLB, my New York Mets are on fire. It's a great time for New York sports. If you're a Knicks fan, you got playoffs coming up. And if you're a Mets fan, you're on a 6-game heater and rolling. I love to see it at the New York Mets. After, let's say, lackluster start to the season, Mets are clicking right now on all cylinders. Another team that is not clicking on all cylinders would be the Atlanta Braves. Only one win on the season. The Braves, though, I wouldn't call cause for concern yet because this happens a lot of years with the Braves. They start out slow, then they get really hot. Look at the 2022 season. They actually won the division over the Mets. Both teams at 100 wins. Braves got off to a really slow start. Then they caught hot. Huge streak late May, early June, went on a 15-game winning streak. So maybe we could see that of the Braves again this year, but bad start so far for the Atlanta Braves. Now, Yankees, they had a great start to the season. You have that series against the Brewers. Everybody seems on fire. The bats are rolling. Now you're seeing a little bit of a decline. They don't win against the Pirates in a few games in that series. The Pirates are playing really bad this year. You go to Detroit, you lose 2 in a row. A little bit worried about this right here for the Yankees, but also it's cold out. Baseball is really cold weather right now. Teams are going to be playing funky, currently happening right now with the New York Yankees, I would say. Last thing in the headlines to the MLB, the Los Angeles Dodgers, the most expensive team in North American sports, at least contract-wise, is third in their division. Now, yes, they're having a great season, but it's a testament to how good the NL West is. Padres have 9 wins. Giants have 8 wins. Dodgers have 8 wins. Little red thing right there. That's about for the headlines this week. Stay tuned for more to come on Squared Sports Land Frank, episode 209. Go Gators, everybody! Yes, we usually give a clap for our champions. Let's do the Gator Chomp. Audio listeners, please, I encourage you to go see the video version of that. It's funny. Florida Gators are your 2025 national champions. Now, I'm going to take credit right here. They were number 25 preseason. And I said, a team that lost in the first round of the NCAA tournament last year. Well, we always see a surprise in March. What if I just throw the Florida Gators in there to the Final Four? I didn't have them winning it all, I'll say that. I had them into my Final Four. Three of my Final Four teams right preseason. It was Alabama, who lost in the Elite Eight, Houston, who made the national championship, Duke, and then obviously Florida. But for the Gators, what an awesome run this was. And I do want to talk about that championship game in a little bit against Houston, but I also just want to talk about how great of a coach Todd Golden is. This guy, he was on a good normal path in life, had a normal steady job after graduating college. He got bored of it. He wanted to go be a coach, became a coach, and now he's a championship winning coach in just year 3 with the Gators. Todd Golden blocked out all the outside noise this season. He didn't have a great season last year, a little bit underwhelming, losing the first round. They didn't make the tournament the year before. He went to the portal. He got guys like Walter Clayton Jr. to go last season. He got guys like Elijah Martin to be there this season. He made adjustments after losing a guard like Riley Kugel, and they had an awesome season. Florida, an awesome season. It wasn't just a March Madness run. It was a steady climb to the top, and that's exactly what Florida did in that national championship game. Just goes to the theme of the steady climb to the top with that blueprint. I mean, I saw them in that semifinal game against Auburn. I didn't think that Auburn was going to, compete with Florida as they did, but they did. And Florida, I kind of got punched in the mouth there in the first half. They went down 8 at halftime. They came right out of the gates. They knew what they were doing, and they won that game. And it was awesome. It was a really great game. They made the right plays on defense. Walter Clayton Jr. caught fire at the right time, exactly like he did in the national championship. He was in prison for that first half of that game. I mean, Houston, credit to them. Best defense maybe this century for college basketball. They just don't have an offense. But Walter Clayton Jr. stepped up when it mattered. They were down 60-57. He hits a 3. They were down. Elijah Martin gets the free throws. They go up 62-60. And then the last play of the game, Walter Clayton Jr. goes there on defense and gets the stop. This is the blueprint. This is the first national championship, I'll say, where a team is full of transfers. Last year, UConn, okay, their leader was Domin Klingon. He's born in Connecticut. He's going to go there no matter what. Transfer portal, NIL, no matter what. But for Florida, to get guys like Walter Clayton Jr., to get guys like Elijah Martin, to have a coach like Todd Golden, that's the new era of college basketball. That's the blueprint. That's my take of the week, how the Florida Gators threw the blueprint out there. And this is how you win a national championship. Maybe Houston thought it could be through their homegrown talent, but Florida proved, at least this season, it was through their transfer portal talent. That's about for Take of the Week this week. Now, top 5. This week's top 5 is the top 5 schoolyard golfers to watch at this year's Masters. This is my list of the top 5 golfers, the headlines, and the top 5 golfers to watch going to this Masters, with number 1 being my pick to win this year's Augusta Masters 2025 tournament. Number 5, Jordan Spieth, a guy who won it in 2015 when I think he was still maybe 21, 20, maybe even younger in that tournament, and went number 2 in 2016. We all know that fateful choke. But since 2015, 2016, Spieth's career has been on a constant decline. It's still being, top 30 as a pro. But can Jordan Spieth get this strength back and have a Masters win, his first one since 2015? We'll just have to wait and see. But number 5 golfer to watch, Jordan Spieth. Number 4, a golfer I love, maybe my favorite golfer out there, John Ram, a guy who won the Masters just 2 years ago in 2023, a guy who, is live golfer. Now he's going to play in the Masters. That's how these guys work now. But John Ram, number 4 golfer to watch on this list. Number 3, still on the PGA Tour and still number 1 in the rankings, Scottie Scheffler. Now, I don't want to draw Tiger Woods comparisons, but Scottie Scheffler has been ranking the leaderboards for so long at this point, comparing it maybe to a Tiger Woods type of run right here, even though Tiger's went on for probably about a few more years than Scheffler's has. But Scottie Scheffler, reigning champion of Augusta, won it a few years ago. He's an awesome golfer. So Scottie Scheffler, can he win this year's Masters? He's number 3 on my list. Number 2, Rory McIlroy, a guy who came second in 2018. So close to winning this Masters, so close to winning so many grand majors in his career. So many. But hasn't got it done in many of them. This year is his chance to win the Masters, in my opinion, but he comes up short. 2, Rory McIlroy, and number 1, my pick to win the Masters. You can call it crazy. He's a LEAV golfer. He does what he wants. He got off to a hot start in the tournament last year, fell off a little bit towards the end, but he's one of my favorite golfers out there. Bryson DeChambeau. I think he's a great week at Augusta with great weather. I'm going to go with Bryson DeChambeau winning this year's Augusta Masters Tournament. And that's about for Top 5 this week. Now, did you know, this week's Did You Know, it's a great one. Did you know Wilt Chamberlain, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, once averaged 48.5 minutes per game in a season? Now, how is that possible, you're asking? There's only 48 minutes in an NBA basketball game, and there still was only 48 minutes back then, but Wilt Chamberlain played so many overtime games to where his number went from 48 to 48.5 minutes per game. Did you know that? Leave that in the comments. That's about for Did You Know this week. Now, I want to throw my spotlight this week on Cooper Flagg. I'm not going to talk about the shot that was short against Juwan Roberts. I'm not going to talk about all the other plays this season where Cooper Flagg had a chance to win the game and didn't, because Cooper Flagg still had an awesome season, an awesome freshman season, and can be a Duke legend one day if he wins a national championship. Now you're talking Lane. It's over. It's done. He's never going to play another college basketball game. There's no chance for him to win a championship. Hold it right there. What if Cooper Flagg wants to come back to Duke? Because NIL money can be similar to an NBA contract. Not saying it's going to be exactly the same. It might be a few million off of an NBA rookie contract, but it can be close. And does it really affect Cooper Flagg's legacy that much to have a 19-year career or a 20-year career or a 2-year in college instead of a 1-year career in college? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played many years in college at UCLA. Michael Jordan wasn't a one-and-done at North Carolina. Larry Bird, this is an interesting topic right here, went to Indiana State, got drafted by the Boston Celtics, went back to Indiana State, and the Celtics had his rights. Now, I don't know about the new rule in the NBA. I think you have to declare to be drafted. But say a team were to pick Cooper Flagg with that number 1 overall pick, and he was still going back to Duke, and we knew that for months. Would they have his rights to the next season? I don't think so, but happened with Larry Bird back in the day. But for Cooper Flagg, I would say, why not come back? Why not win that championship? Duke's roster won't be as good next year. Okay. But Cooper Flagg is the best player in the country, and he could have the greatest college basketball season of all time next year if he returns. He's that kind of player. He wants to win that national championship for John Shire. Cooper Flagg is that type of guy. These guys have done it. These legends, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Hakeem Olajuwon, Michael Jordan. Every NBA legend who went to college played more than 1 year. I think even Shaq wasn't a one and done. The one and done wasn't really introduced until the 2000s. So why not? Why not Cooper Flagg come back for one more season and be the number 1 overall pick again next year? Or maybe AJ DeBansta. We're going to have to see how that goes. But for Cooper Flagg, why not come back to Duke for one more season? That's my spotlight this week. It is the end of an era for the Denver Nuggets and Mike Malone. Mike Malone won this team a championship just in 2023. We're in 2025. They're very close to 50 wins. They had a great season last year, and they lost in the round of 32 to the Minnesota Timberwolves. The hot flash who knew Minnesota Timberwolves beat them last year, and I guess things started to break down a little bit in Denver. We didn't know that things were breaking down, but I guess Nikola Jokic, who never really is outspoken about anything, maybe he got upset. Maybe he said something to where they wanted to avoid a situation like the Luka Doncic situation that happened in Dallas. Now, he loved Jason Kidd, but he didn't love the direction of the franchise. Nikola Jokic, he might not love the direction of the franchise. He may hate playing with Michael Porter Jr. He may want a new point guard. He may have wanted to trade Jamal Murray for De'Aaron Fox, and Calvin Booth didn't get that done because maybe Mike Malone shut him down on it. And then maybe Kroenke, the owner of the Nuggets, said, I'm sick of this. I'm pleasing my top player, Nikola Jokic, so I don't get forced into trading him to a star team like the Mavericks were with Luka Doncic. But it's an end of an era for a great coach like Mike Malone, who hopefully one day can be the San Antonio Spurs head coach if Greg Popovich steps down. Mike Malone is a Greg Popovich disciple. He's definitely going to be a top candidate for that job or any other job in the NBA. Mike Malone is going to be a great NBA coach. He's going to continue to do that because that's the type of coach he is. He's a championship-winning head coach. It's like when the Bucks fired Mike Budenholzer. But that was after, I think, 3 years after winning their championship. This is right away. This is right away, a few days before the playoffs. Like I said in the headlines, you never see this right before the playoffs, but you're seeing it right now with Mike Malone. An end of an era for the Denver Nuggets, firing Mike Malone and firing Calvin Booth. Who's going to be their coach now? Rick Adelman's son? That's their interim right now. Is it going to be Jokic's brother? Who's going to run this team? Is it Jokic? Because he's not an outspoken guy. What's going on with this team right now? Mike Malone and Calvin Booth out. the end of an era, and they've got an interesting summer ahead of them because nothing's happening this spring. They're not winning a playoff series. Bookmark it. They're not winning a playoff series. But what's going to happen this summer with the Denver Nuggets? Leave your answer in the comments. That's about for the end of an era in Denver. Now, let me throw a new segment at you, or maybe a revamped segment. I called it last year the 16-year-old source, but I'm 17 now, and I got a scoop for you right here in college basketball. The 17-year-old source, Lane Frank, I've got something for you right here. So, I'm hearing that USC shooting guard Wesley Yates, very high chance that he could commit to Kentucky as a transfer. Look for that one in the next few days. And Braden Burries, and I posted on the Schoolyard Sports Instagram, so follow that if you want more scoops, and the Schoolyard Sports Twitter. 5-star recruit Braden Burries will commit to Arizona to complete that star-studded class that they've got coming up with Koa Pete. Braden Burries will join that. Even Bryce James is in that class of Arizona, freshman coming in next year. So that's about for 17-year-old source. I got Wesley Yates to Kentucky that I'm hearing, and I'm also hearing Braden Burries heading over to Arizona. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Now, at the buzzer, this week's at the buzzer, let's talk a little hockey. We never talk hockey in this show, but I want to talk hockey right here because Alex Ovechkin, he's not the GOAT of hockey. I think Wayne Gretzky is the GOAT of hockey. But we know Alex Ovechkin has his own lane, his own place in NHL history now, in hockey history, as he is the all-time leading scorer in goals in the NHL. What a great feat that is for Alex Ovechkin. Wayne Gretzky, he's happy about it. Alex Ovechkin can take his record with 895 goals, but also Wayne Gretzky has his record for most career points by a large amount. So both these guys have had awesome Hall of Fame careers. Cool to see a GOAT complimenting a GOAT. We don't really see that right here in the other sports. You won't ever see, let's say Barry Bonds maybe complimenting Mike Trout one day if Mike Trout or Shohei Ohtani can have a great end to their career and rival Barry Bonds for that home run record. Or if you could say in the NBA, LeBron James and Michael Jordan. You don't see that conversation going on there. But when you see this right here between Alex Ovechkin and Wayne Gretzky, it's truly special. That's about for At the Buzzer this week. Now, question of the day. This week's question is, how would you build out a college basketball roster? I'm going to look at the Final Four teams and think of those teams how to build out a roster. Is it like Auburn, where they take a lot of transfers like Chad Baker-Mazara and Janai Broom, but they also have the homegrown talent, the freshmen like Tahad Pettiford, Miles Kelly, Denver Jones? It's a great combination between transfers and homegrown talent there for Auburn. Look at Houston. They obviously have so much homegrown talent, but it's not really 5 stars. It's not really freshmen playing. It's the guys that work their way up. They see the veterans do it, and then they do it. And Mayo Sharp, he saw Jamal Shed do it. Same with LJ Cryer. He saw Jamal Shed do it. Jamal Shed saw Marcus Sasser do it. Marcus Sasser saw Quentin Grimes do it. That's how Houston rolls right there. They'll get some transfers, but they'll also build their roster through homegrown. Look at Duke. They have so many 5 stars, but then they also have a few homegrown guys. Look at Caleb Foster. You had Jeremy Roach for a few years there. You get a good transfer like Malik Brown, Sion James. That's how these teams are built out. How I would build a college basketball roster would be like Florida. You get the top guys from your class. You get the Michael Hengolins. You get the Alex Condons, Thomas Alex. But then you also get your transfers, your top guys, your Walton Clayton Juniors, and your Elijah Martins. That's about for question of the day this week. How would you build out a college basketball roster? That's about for Schoolyard Sports and Lane Frank, episode 209. Thank you for tuning in. Follow Schoolyard Sports on Instagram at Schoolyard Sports. Follow Schoolyard Sports on X at Schoolyard Sport. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review for the best sports content in the world. Be back next week, episode 210. Stay tuned.